Kingdom OutKasts podcast is a platform for us to simply express our thoughts, opinions, and experiences concerning our faith and events around the world. We're here for your entertainment, encouragement, and edification of the body. We're humans like yourself and are not the final authority of views expressed. Only the Most High Yah is. Feel free to agree, disagree, edify, question, and comment however you're led to in the comments. We are many members of one body under Messiah and look forward to communing as a family with mutual respect. Shalom and enjoy the pod. Kingdom OutKasts. Shalom everybody, what's good? Welcome to our 7th episode of Kingdom OutKasts podcast. It's been about 2 weeks, went on a little break, a little hiatus, but we're back. I am your host, Mashak, Brandon Mashak, whichever one you want to go with. Who we got here today?
I'm Dayja.
That's Dayja.
Yes.
That's Brandon. I'm Eliyahu, Elijah. And we are happy to be back in the flesh here on episode 7.
He's accepting it.
Mm-hmm.
He's accepting it.
Yeah, I haven't told my parents about it yet, but...
You didn't tell them you're a prophet nowadays?
That's his podcast persona.
Yeah. No, I can't tell them that. I just gotta let them tell me that,
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. How's your guys' week been?
Shoot, I'll let you go first.
My week has been well. I've been scheming up a plot to minimize my work in the office days ever since we had an active shooter in the downtown Atlanta area.
Okay, yeah.
I do work downtown and I ride the train. There's hardly anyone in the office, and I'm just thinking to myself, it is a risk to even leave home. So, at the right time, I'm going to present this.
It's about that time.
And let them know that I will only be able to come into the office one measly day a week. And then they should all be appreciative of my presence even that day.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to use the reason of,
yeah, I feel unsafe.
Okay.
It's not safe to travel downtown.
Okay.
And you're only in the office 2 days out the week, right?
Right.
The only thing is... why?
And even those 2 days, one of those 2 days is when they had the active shooter. And family was calling me from out of town, like, hello, are you, like, downtown? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I literally am. I'm at work.
Yeah. I'm about to catch tomorrow at home.
Right.
What's the traffic time to get there?
I ride the train, but if I didn't ride the train, it would take me over an hour to get to work.
Oh, okay.
How far is the MARTA from here?
The MARTA train is very close. I could literally ride a bike.
Oh, okay.
Do you feel like, and I prayerfully it works, right? But do you feel like your job, cares about your lives enough to take into consideration?
I would like to think so, yes. I would like to think so, yeah.
We would like to think so.
Yeah, I would like to think so.
Yeah. We hope so.
I've had a good week, though. I ended a fast. I was fasting for about 40 days. No meat, no sugar, minimal bread, except for, whole grain bread. And I think I've been guilty of gluttony this week. I've just thought of nothing but cookies, burgers. It's all I've wanted. Fried chicken.
Yeah.
And so I have binged out a little bit. I'll have to back down this week.
Is it because the meetup we had on Sunday?
That definitely didn't help either.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't wait. I was like, when the I want the first burger off the grill, and so.
Yeah, I think the highlight of the week was the first day of the week. A bunch of us linked up, at the park, had some grilling going on.
Yes.
For podcast watchers that don't know. Yes, we are cool outside
friends
the
in
podcast.
real life.
Yes, friends in real life.
Friends in real life. You know what I mean? So, but my week was that everything? Yeah. My week was pretty good. Starting off with that, was really great. Lady visited. Clients have been going up that summer. Mm-hmm. Like I said, that summer crowd is really pushing. That's for the unrealistic times. But I'm even trying to get ready, for my physique ready for my sister's wedding. A lot of my old boys I grew up with are gonna be there, so that's I told you about that. That's gonna be, hey, I gotta keep the best, and it'll be bleeding to July, my 30 month. So need to. I don't know. It's like when my clients be coming up to me like, hey,
you're turning 30.
Yeah.
Oh, Brandon!
Birthday
Congratulations!
Yeah, I know, right? No, but for real,
Hey, all praise to the Most High.
Yeah.
yeah.
30's big.
I feel like when I get one of those clients that are like, hey, so my, I'm turning 30 this year, 35, and I just want to look the best I've ever had and do this for me and it's my self improvement. I be getting them clients. So, hey, I'm just using this whole thing as like a motivator to get back to where I used to be. So,
Yeah.
but that's my week has been what I can remember off top.
That's good. Yeah, my week was solid. I really enjoyed the fellowship that we had. The food was great.
Yes.
The vibes were just vibing, immaculate. Honestly, we were at Piedmont.
Yeah.
That's how y'all pronounce it. So it was nice. Had a good time. Started off my week pretty well. Like I've been working a lot, so just working and
breathing is letting me know.
Bro. I was thinking about what Dayja was talking about. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell my job I'm going down to one day a week, and I know my job is not going for that. And they literally took away our flex days. So like flex days are like let's say I were to forget my laptop at home, and my job is like a whole hour away. They would make me take a PTO or like a personal day or a sick day if I wasn't able to come into the office. So like they don't there's no flexibility.
They really care about y'all being in the office.
Yeah, they want to build up that culture. They want to build up the culture. And I don't care. I actually
want their money to not go to waste.
Because it's the office space. Yeah, and our office space is mad nice. But so just been working myself into a fine pulp. And yesterday I worked. But this week was good for me. I ran some appointments. I did lose some discipline, but I'm feeling that I'm going to get it back and then snatch it from the heavens. I said, Lord, I'm going to be disciplined for the rest of my life. I tried my best to be.
More of him and less of you.
Yes. And
I gotta zoom into the face he made right after he said that on a clip.
But yeah, no, my week was good, and I'm glad to be here. I actually ran this morning, so I don't know how long I ran for. It was probably like 40 minutes, maybe.
So
That's really dope.
Zoned out into the it's like your meditation.
I like running. Is it at Piedmont and the hills, they get my calf muscles looking nice, So, but I'm trying to get my body right
shirtless.
Together. Huh?
Because he was probably shirtless.
No, I wasn't. Listen. I'm not a glorifier of my own flesh.
You the type to you tuck it in the back of your pants or around your neck.
So the last time I ran there, I actually I did start off with like a short sleeve shirt. I was like, it's getting too hot. I took that off and I had a beater on. So,
yeah.
I don't usually go full chest because I got a bird chest, So
Thanks for letting
I don't
us
like that
know
to be shown, So I keep the beater on just to show off the shoulders,
Gotcha.
A little humble.
Hey, that's actually I think when it comes to women like I think shoulders are like the main thing, anyways. You know what I mean? That's
I'm a trap lord.
Trap lord.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man. Yeah. Welcome back to Kingdom OutKasts podcast.
Yeah. I think we missed each other. What do you think?
Yeah, man. How was it like not having me in your lives?
I don't know. I think I still saw you twice a week.
Yeah.
I think the break was necessary, man. I think I'm pretty sure, others, might go a little bit more. But I think after 6 episodes, having just a 2-week hiatus, especially with the time of the year that it is, isn't bad. I think we've been pumping out the videos, and
yeah. And I think 1 week we had 2 extra episodes too. So I mean, this is kind of like a timeout, Like we're still in the first quarter. We just took a timeout.
Podcasting is a lot of work. Well, and I don't even do most of the work.
I know, right? Still can't get her posting that Facebook. Boy,
I tried last week, but yeah, it's a lot of work. It requires consistency. So I'm glad I have you guys here to keep everyone accountable.
Yeah.
And keep pumping out good videos for us each week.
Yeah, I think we also went through the period of mistakes, because I think we've ran into the majority of issues we could run into during the podcast.
Sure,
I'm missing
yeah.
Mike, animals, you know,
Oh,
in the
yeah.
video. Yeah, sorry for the last episode, y'all. We got it all under control.
Yeah,
for
there's
the
no
most part
animals
now.
today. Every animal is upstairs.
Yeah. You know, not smacking in y'all faces.
Yeah.
You know, with the
Snacks.
With
with the food. You know, we'll do that before or after, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I think we pretty much got that, you know, down pat.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, of course, over time, you know, we're still gonna improve. So, I think coming back after 2 weeks, it's gonna be. I decree and declare it.
Yes.
Nah, but
yes.
Breakthrough.
yeah.
Yeah.
That, you know, hey, we're gonna be smooth, you know, going forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And make sure you guys check out the Facebook and the Instagram page and our YouTube page. Because, you know, we're slowly starting to get better at the marketing of the Instagram and the Facebook and our platforms. So make sure you guys like, share, comment, subscribe, interact with us. I think, you know, we got some ideas here on, you know, how we can engage with our audience a lot more. So if you have any suggestions, let us know. But, yeah, you know, we're going to keep the train rolling.
And we appreciate y'all who've been sticking to and listening, you know, thus far. You know what I mean? So appreciate y'all.
Greatly
This
appreciate
is,
it.
you know, for y'all and
Support.
just for the edification of the body, right? So, you know, appreciate everybody sticking together.
Amen. Let's get into the episode.
The precepts. We'll start with a precept.
This is episode 7 too.
Episode
Number
7.
of completion.
Oh.
Okay. So, our precept this week is on the true vine. So I'm going to be reading from John 15, starting with chapter 1 or verse 1. And it says, "I am the true vine, and the Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away, and every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth, that it may bring forth more fruit. Now that you are clean through the words which I have spoken unto you, abide in me as I in you, as the branches cannot bear fruit of itself except it abides in the vine. No more can ye except you abide in me. I am the vine, and ye are the branches. He that abide in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me ye cannot do nothing."
This is just beautiful. Our Lord and our Savior, Yeshua, spitting facts, and I like the part where, you know, it talks about every branch in me that does not bear fruit he takes away, and every branch that continues to bear fruit he prunes. And I've been reading the amplified version of the Bible, and it's really helped me get a better understanding of each and every word, and like really applying it better. But this one, it says he repeatedly prunes so that it will bear more fruit, even richer and finer fruit. And I think that's going back to like kind of, you know, the understanding of this sanctification process. And we can only be sanctified by just drawing more into relationship with the Most High. So I really love this verse, and I gotta give a shout out to Ye Are the Branches. I believe that's Eshawn Burgundy's clothing brand.
Yeah.
They got some fire hoodies, t-shirts, and hats.
Yeah,
And
the
I
art,
definitely need to copy
digital
some
art.
pieces. And visual art. Oh, the visual art. I'm like, yo. So yeah, I think that this is where this stems from. But man, my mom's calling me. I have to call her back.
Mom, I'm recording.
But yeah, that was my slight takeaway. I don't know if we want.
I'm on air. I feel that verse as well. It just reminds me of the body, you know, for one. You know, the first thing makes you think of how much we need to be a body, you know what I mean? Like, when you think about the body of Messiah, like, you gotta think about, you know, a tree, you know, with all its different branches, and we are the branches, you know what I mean? And, you know, we're connected to, you know, the Most High, you know, we're connected to, you know, him through, you know, Yeshua. One term that also comes up with thinking of this is, you know, I think, is it Marcus Garvey? Hopefully I'm saying the right quote, but A tree without roots cannot stand. You know, and our roots are in Messiah spiritually, and our physical identity is Israel as well. So that verse has just a lot of meanings, especially of the Messiah also talks about how with false prophets, which we can look at anybody who claims to be a believer, ye will know them by their fruit. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so if you're not bearing fruit, you got to question. Then it's in question of, are you a part of the branches? Are you a part of the tree? Right? So yeah, we just always want to make sure we're bearing fruit. Contributing to the body.
Yeah.
And not trying to handle every problem in our life outside of the body. I see, I think I might have mentioned, but I see a pattern, especially even in our group chats, where people be going through something, but they don't say nothing. Right? They'll just disappear for a while or not say anything. And it's like, they come back, oh, yeah, I was going through some things, and blah, blah. Yeah. Oh, hey, man, could have been praying for you. Could have, somebody could have talked to you about something.
They'd be like, never mind, I'm fine.
Yeah, one thing I like about the brotherhood that we got at school, Hebrews and stuff, is just that, that's the perfect outlet that like most men need to be able to talk and connect as a tree, as a body, and you can't live this life alone, like as a just a broken off twig, you know what I mean?
No.
So you'll get dried up.
Yeah, bear you another one's burden, right? So.
That's real.
But yeah, that has a lot, in my mind. So, yeah.
When I think of this verse, it's on my list of daily readings. Not to say I get to it every single day, but it's something that's worth remembering and repeating and reading over again and again. And I also think about the spiritual aspect of the picture that's being painted here. So it's saying the Most High is in heaven. He's the gardener. And he looks down and he chooses where to prune and where to cut. And Yahusha, like, as he was of flesh just like we, and he walked this earth as a human like we are, he was here to be that vine, and it's the Most High who chooses what's cut off and what's not. I think that's really deep to think about. And like you mentioned, how as you're pruned, the better your fruit becomes. That's how we should measure our walk. We don't ever want to get busy going side to side to side. We want to measure our fruit and see to it that is growing in our life, and that there's more fruit and more fruit growing. And I do agree that in a lot of people's self-importance and their belief of the self and all these things, they're missing the aspect of having a vine. Self-love, like just like self-importance or whatever. They're missing this aspect of like, where are you drawing from? And I think that the difference between our faith and a lot of other people's faith is that this is our hard line. Like, we draw the hard line and that, like, we need the vine. Yeah. None of us could ever get to the point where we don't need Jesus. Right. Yahusha. And so I think that hard line is what makes us different from other faiths.
Yeah, that's a big part you said at the end. Like, a lot of, I think that
self-worship is what's being taught a lot these days, right? Self-worship, like self-love is a good thing, but not at the expense of everybody else, kind of, you know what I mean? The thing about our faith is that we're really to treat others, as good, or not, not better, ourselves in the body for the most part, but of course whoever the Most High sends our way too, right? And so the world constantly telling people, manifest, of your own power, blah, 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 self-love. But it's a culture that teaches you to cut everybody else off constantly, right? When we're supposed to be separating ourselves from the world, but clinging to the body, So, yeah, feel that.
So our Hebrew lesson, we use the word branch.
Yeah, so the word for the day, branch, right? So in the Hebrew, it is Dayja, Dalith. If you see it, you want to pronounce it Dalith, which I did earlier, but it's Dayja. 1808 Strong's coordinates. A branch, bow. And the word origin, or branches. And the word origin is from the word Dalah, Dalah, Strong's 1802. Dalah, to draw water, which branches, water runs through branches, right? Draw out, enough, lift up, right? And that word comes from Strong's 1809, dalal, Dallal, to hang, below, languish, brought low, fade, hang, look wistfully, thin. So you see how these Hebrew words, they have roots and then the next root. So it really comes with all these different hidden meanings in there as well. So yeah.
Yeah, the terminology or the definition to draw water, I think that's exactly the idea that like it's able to draw further and further from the center of the tree, but as long as it's still connected, it could draw it for as infinity as far as the branch is able to grow, as long as it stays connected.
Yeah, if you get cut off, you're disconnected from that water source as a branch. That's amazing, yo. The Hebrew word be mad deep, man.
Yeah.
Even if the word doesn't have a certain meaning, the root of the word and where it comes from has a meaning hidden in there. So it's layers and layers, with the word. So, but yeah, that's the word, Hebrew word of the day.
Okay. So let's talk about current events.
Okay.
When I was doing my weekly scrolling on Yahoo News, I came across an article.
Who uses Yahoo News?
It's not a reputable source.
I'm joking.
Yahoo has some.
She has Yahoo Mail too, right?
Of course.
Oh, she has. Wow, I haven't. Wow, I forgot.
It's Gmail.
It's funny. At one point, everybody changed from like the AOLs, from Hotmails to Yahoo's to straight Gmail.
I've had this Yahoo for at least a decade.
Oh wow.
Okay, cool.
So I was scrolling this
Go
week
Yahoo.
when I was at the office that I had to be at against my will.
Yeah.
I came across an article about a California Reparations Board meeting. I guess it went astray.
Speaking
of water, keep yourself some
water. Speaking of work, and how do you feel about Elon Musk talking about people who did y'all hear about him? He was on the news and he was like, he feels that people should just go to work and not work from home, and he feels like they're lazier and stuff like that.
That's not a thing. I don't think it's a thing because like work is demanding. Unless you have a job where it's like it's not demanding. The fact that y'all can physically see me in the office has nothing to do with the level of demand that's being met on the other side of the screen. Right. There's some days where I go in the office and it's not a demanding day, so I'm just like, I don't know, just eating fruit and just like looking at Yahoo News. And then there's other days when I'm working from home and there's demands all day long. It has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, I think he's coming more so from an engineering perspective.
Uh-huh.
Like you have to actually use your hands to do the work. So that's probably why he's talking that. But I mean, most people aren't engineers or like actually using their hands.
Yeah. So. Shut up, Elon.
Getting us off in trouble.
All right.
But yeah.
So the California Reparations Board, I guess that it turned into a big argument because they were proposing a $1.2 million reparation maximum to foundational Black Americans who are descendants of slaves who were brought here through the translated slave trade. And some say 1.2 million is not nearly enough. It is just not what is owed. Consider inflation. Consider interest. And then some are saying, well, it's better than nothing. We need to get something passed. And so they are arguing about releasing this amount of money payable to residents of California who meet the requirements.
Yeah.
To me, this is a huge step in the right direction because I never thought that they would even get together in a serious manner and discuss any amount of reparations that were more than enough to buy a Jordan shoe.
That's facts. That's definitely facts. And I think it is important that they're actually meeting in a legitimate way and not just like, Dave Chappelle's video on reparations, which is hilarious. Because he showed like what Black people
would do with the money. Yeah. No, I definitely think that tomfoolery is going to go on with the money, but we deserve to, I guess, blow all the money if we want.
I mean, I agree with you because literally this entire nation was built on the backs of
Israelites.
Israelites, Jewish slaves.
Some say you can't say the entire nation because of the Industrial Revolution.
Well, let's really break it down. Okay, like back in they started coming here in the 1600s, 1600 to 17, we'll say 65 till the war first happened, and then really till 1850. So that's 250 years of slavery that was unpaid work, and we're talking major agriculture was farmed, and I'm sure there was some industry built as well. Mm-hmm. And all that money that those owners had just moved into the Industrial Revolution.
Right.
So I mean, you can make the argument that the Industrial Revolution was not built by slaves, but that money was. That money moved.
They couldn't make something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard their figures up to 20 trillion, 30 trillion dollars were created at the time when slavery was going on. Mm-hmm. That's a lot for an economy. That's more than our current debt, I believe. Mm-hmm. So for them not to even get they had the 40 acres and a mule. That proposal didn't come to fruition, and they thought of sharecropping, which is basically.
When I tell you what I would do, I would literally do multiple backflips for 40 acres right now.
Oh yes! Oh my god!
I would take that over cash.
Yeah, I would too. Well, I would need some cash, but I need some sort of mule. But I mean, I think that I would be very, very happy with 1.2.
What if they threw you a little 600,000?
600,000 untaxed?
No taxed.
Oh no.
That's not enough?
No, I need a mil. I need a mil. But I mean, I know it's gonna cost a lot. But I mean, I'm sorry. One more thing. Yeah. And I'll probably keep talking about this, but we can pass a bill for Ukraine for $400 million like that. Mm-hmm. You gotta understand. I understand. I understand where the United States makes its money. It's not profitable to give black people money, but
at all.
It's gonna have to happen.
Let me read this little news article to give us some even more background by it. So, it's on ABC News. What to know about California's approval of recommendations for historic reparations. May 18, 2023, a California Reparations Task Force has voted to approve recommendations on one of the most significant reparations campaigns for African Americans in modern U.S. history. However, some critics have questioned whether the proposed reparations are sufficient to address systemic issues in the black community. Task Force was established through a bill authored by an Assembly member, Shirley Weber, currently California's first African American Secretary of State. According to Task Force Chair Camilla Moore, the bill was signed into law September 2020 by Governor Gavin Newsom. The Task Force's next and final meeting will be on June 29, when the report will be released to California's legislature. Its supporters hope the report will be the foundation of a state bill, which could go to the legislature for a vote of end by 2023 or 2024. This is a task force recommendation deflects attention away. It goes on a little bit here. The most important thing, I'll skip down. On the federal level, Rep. Cori Bush of Missouri announced a nationwide reparations bill on Wednesday that calls for $14 trillion to help close the wealth gap between African Americans and white Americans. Quote, the United States have a moral and legal obligation to provide reparations for the enslavement of Africans and its lasting harm on the lives of millions of black people, unquote, Bush said at a press conference on the steps of the U.S. Capitol. When asked how the government would pay out the sum of $14 trillion, Bush said she is engaged in talks to find the answer. Quote, we're still having those kind of conversations, unquote, the congresswoman said at the press conference. Quote, we're working with this administration while we're talking with the members of Congress, but I'll say this, if we can continue to fund these endless wars, or we can continue to put trillions of dollars into forever wars, we're talking about things that are happening now. Quote, the most important thing our descendants, quote, Andrea Jordan of Sacramento, California said when describing what she would do with the conversation through reparations, unquote. no, quote, to be able to leave the tangibles for them, and otherwise I would not be able to do so, unquote. Um, last last part. Um, Jordan told ABC News of the toll inflicted on her grandfather after laws were passed decades ago in Mississippi to take his land. Quote, he understood as a man and as a black man what they had done, unquote, Jordan said. Quote, he was a mean person because of what they had done and died with a frown on his face from what he knew about that he was not able to leave for his family. Jordan believes African Americans deserve reparations. We start with such a deficit that our entire life could even dig us out of it. So this would even the playing field, and it's long overdue, unquote, Jordan said. Quote, this country is drenched in our blood.
Ooh, mic drop.
So, yeah. What y'all think about that?
Well, I guess it's dangerous to go down the route of like, well, we'll just take anything. Like, no, we don't want to just take anything, but we also don't want to just keep on arguing about these numbers and never get like, what they call paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, analysis paralysis.
Like, it should be this. No, it should be that. Well, it should be this. It should be that. Who should qualify? Who should not qualify? And not give anyone $1. But at the same time, we shouldn't just hit just the bare minimum and just say, fine, we'll be quiet. That's not going to work either.
Yeah, I definitely think that there can be an analysis done on basically. First off, I mean, the wealth gap started when I feel like slaves became emancipated. They were given nothing, literally. Like
the sharecropping era.
Yeah, So it's like that's when the wealth gap really started, and I mean, the wealth gap's even crazier now between black and white Americans, and
It's really got to be just rich and poor for real.
Shoot, a lot of white folks finna become slaves too.
Yeah, well,
with the world they're building.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all slaves in that kind of way. People say, right?
I don't think I know what you mean.
Hmm?
White people becoming slaves. I don't know what you mean.
I mean, you got
No, I'm saying like this currency system, and obviously it'll be harsher, but slavery is about to become a little bit more like across the playing field. I feel like with this new world system that's being,
slowly, yeah.
Oh, so there's another current event I want to ask y'all's opinion about. So there are some Apple glasses.
Can I ask one question?
What?
I had a question to ask y'all.
Yeah.
Do y'all feel like this is actually gonna happen?
In our lifetime?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Really?
I think that there will be reparations in our lifetime.
Yeah.
Now, why do y'all feel like there will be?
Because they are. I think first, like, you're starting to see like a lot more black empowerment from not our side. They're starting to promote a lot more black women. We got a vice president.
It's really more the feminism agenda.
If it's
throw some
feminist,
color
I
on
don't
top
care
of it.
as long as I'm getting paid. But yeah, I think it's gonna happen in our lifetime. Because listen, I think that the economy, it's like, well, why not just pay the blacks? Because inflation's already crazy. Let's just make it all go up all the more. Frick it.
Oh, that when they give us reparations is when the crash will happen in the new world system.
But see, that's when
They'll
you
be like,
really
well, we
gotta
put it in
be
your
smart with
bank account. We don't know where it went.
Yeah, I mean, your $1 million is really like 200,000. So,
Sorry, it's frozen in infinity time.
Yeah, actually, we're giving you money in central bank digital currencies. Yay.
I like to think it will happen, but then a part of me thinks it won't happen because they do need a motivating factor, and we are missing that motivating factor. Like when they do pay, people are paid back for like wrongdoings. There's some motivator in there that it's like, okay, we should do this because blank. I think for black people, there is no motivating factor. It's just like a known fact that like is overdue.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that will make them be like, okay, but if we do pay them this, then we're going to gain blank. So that's why
It'd be a crazy event, maybe like some event, not like a police shooting, but like a different type of, like an actual event that really shows the wealth gap in our lifetime. I think there could be that, but I don't know.
I'm gonna just take a neutral stance and say I don't know. And on one end, I don't think it'll happen because they don't have to. Like we don't have the numbers to raise up and force that out of their
their hands. You know what I mean? I really think it's a tickling their ears. And if there is even some type of reparations, it's going to be some type of give and take. You know, what's going to come with that? What are you going to have to do? Do you have to be, shot up, for the reparations? Do you have to, sign something or whatever? What's it going to take
What's
for
the
you?
catch?
Right?
Yeah.
On another hand, I think it could happen because with the first Exodus, well, the Israelites came out with with money,
Lots of wealth. Yeah.
and so the second Exodus will be greater than the first, right? And then 2 verses after Isaiah 11:12 that we kind of have as our podcast verse, just 14, which says, "But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistine toward the west. They shall spoil them of the east together. And they shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them." And and it goes into everything else about Most High destroying the tongue of the Egyptian sea and all that, and bringing them back into their land. And so we can see that in this second Exodus, or in this time where Joshua is going to be regathered, is that they're going they're going to get some of their stuff back. And it uses the term spoil. Spoil means how when I went to that museum in Houston, Texas last year, and I saw mad Jewish artifacts and things, and Torah scrolls and gold and crowns, it would not be wrong for me to just bust up all of this and then run about it.
Yeah.
I mean,
it would.
But
technically would.
But if you had a warrant,
I mean, so I'm just like, once anarchy happens, I kind of, hey man, you might have to get a little hit list of some museums. But yeah, he's spoiled. So get our stuff back, right? That's what happens in war. So things can happen that way, right?
Yeah.
So no in a way with my first answer. I don't think they care that much, and they don't have to. Yes, in a way of, well, the Most High can use our enemies to bless us still.
Yeah, I'm picturing a very advanced reload package. When you work for a corporation and they want to relocate you, they're like, okay, we'll pay for someone to pack your whole house up, a flight for you, your husband, and all your children. We'll pay for someone to unpack all your belongings. We'll pay for.
You're good. Keep going.
We'll pay for. So that might be the form of the reparations package. It may be a reload, a very nice reload.
Yeah, I need gold and I need silver.
Sometimes they'll even buy your house in cash.
Yeah.
So that you can sell immediately.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
I hope someone comes by and buys my house in cash. I'll be out of here.
I'll buy it in cash. I got it.
But personally, I'm not banking on it for real. I'm living my life as if I don't.
All right, where's the title?
I'm living my life as if I don't expect them to come at all.
Yeah.
But if that happens, hey man, to higher be the glory. So
Praise the Most High.
Now, can I talk about the next?
Yes, ma'am.
There are these Apple glasses out there, and it's like the Oculus, but you could just wear them everywhere you go, and it sounds pretty interesting to me. So my question is, what happened to the metaverse? Shouldn't it have been rolled out by now?
Yes, died a little bit.
The hype has died.
So does that mean it's not coming?
I think I heard something about the stocks being down too.
The metaverse stocks?
On Meta.
Or Apple? Oh, Meta. So Meta, Facebook changed to Meta, its name, but
right.
That's not the only metaverse. But I mean, I still see, I get on TikTok, and there's a lot of funny videos of people in the metaverse. So people will still do go to the metaverse. The metaverse is like the Oculus, or
these Apple glasses now. You can wear them. So you can wear them while you're driving and everything.
I don't think so. And they haven't come out yet. See.
I think all this stuff can still happen because I think they're building it's the fact of they're up. Meta platforms, it's been going up over the year.
It just seemed kind of like the snake bite, where it was everything on the news, and not on the news, but everyone was just talking about this is happening and this is happening. You should prepare and you should buy virtual land and you should plan to have virtual Hermes bags, and like then all of a sudden it was just not a thing. And
That
I
was
just
still
want to
hilarious to me.
like, was it a big bust?
It was like, it wasn't, I mean, there's cycles. I think that there's going to be another cycle when these drop. Like, just in the cryptocurrency market, because they kind of go hand in hand. But, like last year, the metaverse train got really big because of NFTs. And people just, like, paying stupid amounts of money for NFTs and then selling them. And just going, getting those gains. But, I can see with these Apple glasses dropping a new resurgence of metaversites. You know, people just want to get back into the metaverse and thinking about it, and then probably a lot more companies will be like, "Oh, actually, we have our platform already set up," and like you can buy stuff for your emoji or whatever it is, your person.
You can be like Superfly.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think like whenever one of these corporations is the first to roll out working in the metaverse, then maybe others may jump on the board, or they may like find some sort of benefit in it.
Yeah.
And they're able to save money or like gain a ton of money somehow, and then other corporations will want to do it. So that your entire job, you're like, in the verse doing your work, and everything exists there, and you have meetings in there. How they said it would be in the future.
Yeah, I'm not working in the metaverse.
But I have worked for a corporation that was like fully virtual. Basically, it was remote. The whole company was remote. They did have an office, but it seated maybe 12. Like there was probably 12 desks, 12 working desks, and a few offices in there. And they were like that before COVID. Like, it was a financial institution.
It's bad for your eyes, man. All them pixels in your face. Bad for your eyes. I have an Oculus, and it's actually pretty fun.
You have an Oculus? You're the last person
I would
checked
think
out
so.
an Oculus.
Man,
It's
look,
like
man.
guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Plays on the Oculus every night.
Nah. I'll tell you one thing. Like, at the most, I play this like one online. Like little like kind of cartoon shooter game or whatever.
Oh, okay.
But I haven't played it in a while. But I tell you one thing, they do have this feature where they can like scan your hands. You know, and use it as a controller.
Oh wow.
No, y'all not getting my fingerprints.
Listen, everything is getting to that point. I think, like we're seeing these Apple glasses, which is just
Meta is Facebook,
reality.
right?
Meta is Facebook.
So if I scan my hands, then that means Facebook has my fingerprints.
Yes, it does.
And then they can sell your data to any third party that they choose.
Oh, they swear that they just started. They don't do that, and they can but don't, and you should trust them because they want to do that.
It's a junk,
Come
I tell
on.
you.
They gotta make money. That's part of their business model, selling data to advertisers.
Sorry, Mark
Privacy.
Zuckerberg.
What do they say? Privacy is a priority. That's what they say.
Please.
Sorry, Mark Zuckerberg or whoever owns Facebook now. I don't trust you.
Yeah, but I still use your platform. Instagram.
Yeah, we started.
Except Dayja.
That's why I don't use it, Brandon, because I don't believe in it.
She don't even have to use your Facebook.
Yeah.
She's the Kingdom OutKasts Facebook.
Literally.
You guys are gonna see some upcoming posts this week.
Okay, we're gonna see. Hey, gonna see. You guys hold her accountable.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready to talk about the topic of the week?
All right. Let's
Now that you're good and warmed up.
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic of the week is a question. Yet another question. What is the Bible? The Bible.
Yes, that's the word for me.
What do we say the Bible is?
Not all at once. I'm gonna go last.
I'm
just
always
letting
going
y'all know.
last. I want to go last.
I should.
I
I'm the most
say that-
long-winded here, right?
Yeah.
I say the Bible is I say the Bible is the written word of God. It is a compilation of
Ooh, let's answer
historical
like this.
facts.
If somebody asked you, say one of your friends asked you,
What is the Bible?
say one of your homegirls, well, what do you think the Bible is? What would you tell one of your homegirls?
The word of God, the living word.
The living word of the Most High.
Look at you.
Hallelujah.
The living water. I think that it is a history book.
No.
Or do you
This is
think
what
that
we're
it
gonna
is?
role play.
Goodness, don't do the voice, because I swear I'm
We're
not
gonna
going to
role
be able to
play.
do. So hey, Dayja. This is what Brandon thinks of women. Continue on.
Wait.
Continue forth.
So stuff. So, what is the Bible like? I don't understand this. What's the Bible, Dayja?
Well,
What is that?
good friend.
What is everybody talking about? What is that?
What it is the Bible is the true and living Word of God. It was put together using divine intervention, and the Most High Himself had prophets that walked this earth that wrote portions of the Bible that were later all combined. The first 5 books are the Torah or the Torah, and those books were written by Moses.
I am so confused. So when you say it's the real Word of God, do you mean the God of the Creator or the universe had a pencil and you wrote the pages himself?
No, divine intervention means that a human was compelled to write either a story or a spiritual experience, a dream, or an interpretation, or a prophecy, and they wrote it down, and it was so important that it somehow maintained all the way till today, and it will maintain until the end of times. That's how you know that this was divine intervention and that this wasn't just someone writing something on paper. And I would also say that the Bible is a combination of historical record facts. It also includes genealogies all the way from Adam past Jesus. And I would also say that it contains many parables and lessons, and that every piece of it is based in truth.
That was good.
My attention span is fried. No, no, but okay. How do you think she did?
I thought that was really good. That was a
Thank
really
you,
good
Eliyahu.
synopsis of what the Bible is, and
So how
I
did you
would
tell
agree
one of
with
your
you.
homies?
I would agree.
No,
with
do
you.
another little thing.
All right,
No, I'll do it. Yeah, bro. I mean, like, shit, what's
She
that
said,
about
"Yeah,
anyway?
bro."
Like, for real.
For real?
Yeah, like, what's that about? Like, what's the Bible? Like, I mean, I feel like, nobody done ever met God for real. So, like, how would you even know for real?
She sound like a Caucasian dude that grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
Brandon's called me white.
Go for it. Like a surfer dude that grew up in the hood. I don't know.
I was
That
trying to
was
sound
funny.
hood, not surfer.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You're trying to
You
sound
said
surfer
like
or
a lot.
hood?
Like,
Back
you said
to
too like too many times.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
agree.
bro. How do you know the Bible is real? Nobody ever met God for real, so you don't even know.
Well, I just believe. And
What do you, shouty?
I believe in it, but for me, my belief is it's rooted in the indwelling Holy Spirit that is within me, and how I've seen the Most High work in my life, and just protecting me from some situations where I probably should have died, or just fallen deeper into ridicule, sin, all that kind of stuff. But what is the Bible to me? I think that, like, when I read it and when I look at it, and I've yet to read the Bible all the way through, like Genesis to Revelation, but I'm getting there. That's my task for myself this year. But what I look at the Bible as is like a love story of the Creator and His creation, and then to piggyback on kind of some of the stuff that you said, I agree with that. But look at it as a love story because, you see the Most High, He formed earth out of darkness, and then He creates man, and who is created in His image and in His likeness. And then from that, you get man. And then from there, you get
The Bible says that men are better than women.
Man, what about with the fact that women give birth and God is a goddess? Hotep.
The Bible says it's okay to have slaves.
Hotep. I'm in Hotep.
Not American slaves.
I think we're Egyptian. Let me stop.
So as I was saying, bros and brews, it's like, and then we see in Exodus how the Most High takes
I don't know what
His
Exodus
nation.
is. I don't even know what the
second,
Bible is.
The second book of the Bible, the second chapter. I think the second book. But yeah, it's just like a compilation of historical records. How the Most High moved and how like he really created a set apart nation of his people, gave them rules to follow, commandments to follow that actually were, what's the right word, adopted by many of the other pagan nations. When you really think about it, like even here in the United States, if you murder somebody, you are going to go to jail. It's in the Ten Commandments. There's repercussions for adultery. There are repercussions if you steal. Out of that, then we see the nation start to get involved with the pagan nations, or like even serve the Most High. So that's why I say it's like a love story, because it's got ups and it's got downs. But throughout, you see the Most High loving us, and that's so evident in the ultimate, representation of the Most High, which is Yahshua, and the ultimate sacrifice of giving his life for our ratchetness, for our sin, and giving us salvation in him is just like it's like just a beautiful testament to this love story that the Bible is, with the Creator and his creation. And then he gives us salvation in Jesus Christ, so that we don't have to die and go to an eternal hell, because you got two choices at the end of your life. I'm sorry, you don't have two choices at the end of your life, but based on how you live your life, you had there's two choices that there's two roads that you're gonna go down. And there's so much prophecy, not only about the Messiah, but also about real events that have already taken place, that have come to fruition, and are going to come to fruition. So it's like it's just a beautiful story, packed with prophecy, historical records, genealogy, a lot of wisdom, and a lot of teaching on how we can better live our lives. And the Bible is not. It's not like I don't look at it as like a religious document. I just look at it as like a book to live our lives, like a way of life. So
Unscripted, unwritten, off the top of the dome. Kingdom OutKasts podcast. No,
like, share, comment.
But okay, cool. So I guess it's my turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if I was to explain to somebody what the Bible is, right? I basically hit it like this, like, all right. What?
He wanted to pretend to be.
I was gonna pretend to be somebody.
Go for it.
But I want real questions, people be asking real stuff, like how can you say the Bible is true? Why is the Bible true?
Hit me.
Okay, so what
go.
makes the Bible more true than the Quran?
You gotta hit me with the general question first.
So what is the Bible, and how is it proven to be the Word of God? Mm-hmm. If no one has ever met God.
All right, so here's the situation, right? You understand how Egyptians can have their hieroglyphs, how Romans or Europeans can have their history, how, basically all these different nations, which we can't relate to because we don't even know our identity, have their history. Well, the Bible is a compilation of historic accounts, witnesses, witnessed situations, laws, and even prophecies concerning the future, which things have happened already, for the ancient Israelites, who I believe and know for a fact that I'm a descendant of the ancient Israelites. And so it is their history, their perspective of the world's events from their perspective, right? Thousands of years ago. And I believe that it is also inspired by the creator of the universe, the Most High Yah. And I believe that because of its power. The fact that, the world's biggest religions, which I don't believe in religion, right? I believe in the history and the teachings of the word, but I don't believe in the religions that other nations that aren't related to the Israelites created out of the Hebrew scrolls, right? The biggest religions are based out of it, though, right? its power, it's the disruption it's caused in the earth, the followers of the Bible, people who believe that they are. Basically, everything in the world is centered around the Bible, and even if a person isn't to believe, the Bible is inspired of the Most High. Well, you got to think about why the most powerful people in the world or things in our media are so satanic in a way, right? If this character exists in the minds of the most powerful people, well, there has to be some validity, to these scrolls.
But they
these
say they're
scriptures.
not satanic. They say they just believe in their free will, and that these are concepts that they have all just created, and it has nothing to do with Satanism, and it's not because of the validity of the Bible.
Well, I would have to ask you, how much have you actually read their occultic writings themselves about these things? Morals and Dogma, Aleister Crowley, Lucifer the Light Bearer, Strange and Mysterious Names He Gives to the Spirit of Darkness. So you got to see that in their books, these occultic organizations and high society rich people have also referenced Rothschilds in their books, talk about being descendants of Cain.
So in the Bible.
So how does the Bible compare to the other holy books?
So the way the Bible compares. So for one, is that when you look at the timeline of the Bible and understanding that this is a nation of people who've actually written genealogies, right? Well, you can follow the names and the genealogy of people and look in secular history and see where these people mentioned the Bible broke off and even created their own religions. Islam, you can trace that back to Edom and Ishmael. You can trace Judaism, back to Ashkenaz in the word Gomer, Magog, Japheth. You can trace, you can see how the Israelites talked about a lot of Egyptian, concepts, right? Even the Apocrypha. So you can see how the Bible actually mentions a lot of what we see in other religions today, and it actually has, historic record of what would happen to a lot of us as a nation of people. If you trace back and you see a lot of, scholarly colleges having their encyclopedia and their books references, of Israel or the map of Africa and where the real location of Israel is located. Getting a little bit too, deep there, but just if you were to read the Bible itself, you could see how it references everything else we see around in other religions or nations that built these other religions.
But the Bible has been translated so many times into this language and that language. How do we know that the version we have now is useful compared to the original version?
So that is going to come from our understanding history, right? The Council of Nicaea. If you look in the New Testament and you see the verses where the Romans first called the disciples Christians at Antioch, right? How in the world, if the Romans were the enemies of Israel, why in the world are we reading Bibles that come out of Rome? Well, again, the Bible is written by the Most High Himself, because you can literally stamp when verses were written and see secular accounts of what's happened in history, right? It's the word is prophesied even in the book of Enoch, the mutilation of the Hebrew scrolls. This great creation, I want to say Enoch 109, I could be wrong on that. It's one of the Enoch 100s, but where it talks about in the end of days they will create a great creation and compose scrolls in their own, words and ways. And we can see what the Council of Nicaea took the Hebrews scriptures, right, which the first council, which actually did have Israelites there, right, but there were multiple councils after that, a Council of Trent and more, which didn't have Hebrews in those, councils after that. But you can see other nations compiled the scrolls. Ethiopians actually compiled the fullest Bible that we know today, the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible, 800 years before the Roman Catholic KJV. And those Hebrew scrolls are actually very accurate and solid. But if you do look at the KJV and certain versions that come after it, you can see some discrepancies, which is why hey, study to show thyself approved, as the word says, right? It's a situation of, the victors do rewrite history. So if you truly want to find out the truth of the word, means you have to study,
Both sides.
and keep comparing versions and looking into, so it's work.
So humans are apt to make mistakes, and we're saying that the Bible is the living word of God. So how do we account for that potential margin of error that a human could have misquoted or misrepresented a event in history and it's in the Bible?
Are you talking about from translation?
Could be from translation or just... That's the biggest pushback I hear. That's something I hear as pushback. Is that... But a human is not God, and they are repeating or writing something down. How can we account for the margin of error?
So here's the thing, right? All y'all New Age religioners, the universe, and the universe speaks to me, and this and that, and this and that. Well, if we want to be so, I guess, I am God, or I can communicate to the universe, or all this stuff, why can't we believe that there were ancient people who were way closer to their spirituality because of less technology and things about the time? Why can't we believe that the Most High could speak to those people in the past, right? And so it is up to you to just believe that. Factually and scholarly, the Bible is what it is. Historic accounts based off of this nation of Israel and their perspective of events that happen in the world. But you do have to believe that, yes, it is indeed written by the Most High Yah. And again, the fact that you can see it, the fact that you can see certain things prophesied and predicted at one time in history, and look in our timeline past that and see these things actually happen, right? You have to question, well, these people were given some type of insight into the future for these prophecies to have lined up with things written in the early ADs and late BCs. So that's how I would, really understand and trust that.
What about, in regards to the Bible and the prophecies that have been fulfilled? There's been other, secular soothsayers, and people that have predicted the future, such as Nostradamus. What's to say, that their predictions aren't as valid as the Bible's?
I'm sorry, I don't know about the Nostradamus.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's unimportant then.
Oh,
I mean, he's definitely predicted a lot of things. I don't know, like I don't know how accurate they were in their predictions, and I don't know, I don't remember any of the statements. I think, but
I do believe that there is power. Of course, you have evil and good, right? The Most High ultimately controls both, but He lets evil do what it does. And so I think one thing we do have to understand is that you can choose to plug into the power of the source, the Most High Yah, or you can choose to plug into the power of the little gods, the demons, the fallen angels. Or if you want to believe in other religions like your Egyptian gods or your Hindu gods, those false gods, which the Israelites looked at as the fallen angels and the demons of the world. Right? And so
they still have knowledge.
It's by whose power do you want to move? But at the end of the day, to know what power that person is operating from is what fruit do they have in their life. What are they talking about? Does it line up with the laws and the character of the Most High displayed in the Word?
That's a good answer.
Yep. A follower is going to emulate their master.
Yeah, I think that was great. You guys are all ready to go out there and be apostles, and in the street and challenges the validity of the Bible. I believe that you guys are ready to push back. Absolutely ready. Because this is a conversation I have genuinely had, and I even got feedback about the podcast that we all share the same opinion, and that there's not anyone who can ever counter that opinion. But the thing is that all of our opinions these are not our thoughts. We're basing most of our opinions, all of our opinions, on what's in the Word. So, of course, it's going to align with one another because that is the measuring stick. We're not just creating these concepts and just saying that we're like the three rightest people in the world.
Yeah, no.
It's based on the Word.
I definitely don't think you can say we all three have the same personality, but I think what people have to understand, one of the differences from the people in the world and people in the body, people in the world, there might be in the world way more diverse thoughts and mindsets, because there is not going to be real unity in anything outside of the Most High. Like anything goes type.
Right.
But the thing about the body of the Most High is that we're connected to the same brain, the same spirit, the same
vine.
source.
The true vine.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, we do have different opinions. Like, I have a different opinion about reparations than they do. They believe it. I'm a lot more skepticism about it. And I think there's other things we disagree on. But when it comes to things that align with the word, come on now, we're not supposed to be divided on that.
Yeah.
We not like the denominations of Christianity, Baptist and Kojic and Mormon and blah blah, and then the camps, IUIC. We are literally just a body,
Based on the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like it was important for us to discuss what the Bible is today, because it is the foundation of our opinions, our discussion topics, our lifestyles, the way that we choose to, the way that we choose to approach conversations. Because it's like when you talk about the world having 1,000,001 conversations, I think about the ongoing joke. When some crazy news comes out, I see on Twitter people retweeting like, I hear them setting up the podcast equipment now. Like, because Black people can't wait to go and make podcast content about foolish things like splitting something 50-50 and what are you supposed to do when relationship things
stuff,
or whatever, like the man versus woman like war that's going on about every single last topic.
The red
it's like
pill conversations.
No one can seem to agree on how these things are supposed to be handled. But when you're in the Word, it's like, well, it's not for me to decide how it should be handled. This is what the Word says how it's supposed to be handled.
And I understand it, right? Like, again, the Word is written, given, the experiences of the Word are given to a nation of people, the ancient Yasharim, the Israelites, by the Most High. So this is a nation who was given laws that has a culture to it. The thing about the Word is that it's teaching a culture, the Most High's culture to the world. And so what it is us that believe in the Most High Yah, we are assimilating under His culture, His law that He really established for humanity as a whole, right? And what the story of the Word tells us, that everybody else decided to do just whatever the heck that they wanted. And now we got all these different religions, denominations, and beliefs out there. So it's a culture we're assimilating, into, and it's for, any and everybody who would take, that covenant under the, Messiah. So,
But I mean, I think one thing, like on the tail end of what you just said, those that decide to be followers of the Messiah, you got to realize that most of the Jesus that has been promoted, probably for like even in the United States, probably for the past 50 or 100 years, like that's not like
it's not probably since Israel went into the Inquisition in Rome for real.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just thinking like, the Messiah did not come for peace. You know what I mean? He did not come to, I mean, he's inviting everybody to join, and to get salvation. But it's like literally in the Word it says, I came to put mother against daughter, and brother against brother. Like that's the that is the understanding, and I think that's why people that watch that may not be of the same belief as us, they're like, well, you guys all have the same perspective.
Kingdom mindset.
We come. We just go back to the Word.
Yes.
On different things that are happening, even in the world, or like the way people are living their lives, and it's like, well, this is how the Most High designed for us to live as a set apart nation ever since the ancient Israelite days, and that's why our perspectives are similar. I think we may have different deliveries, on how we may say something, like whether it's, you have to water your plants, at 5 p.m., and I'm like, you can water your plants at
5
p.m. You know.
Yeah, but you must water them at some point.
Yes.
They're gonna die. Like,
Yeah, it's just,
we can agree that they have to get watered.
Yeah. It's little things like that, but I mean, there's a lot more serious topics, you know. But,
right.
Yeah. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, man. I was gonna say something, but I forgot. My memory is just all over the place today. But nah, I definitely agree. You know, with all of that, man. It's you know, when especially when you're talking about when the Messiah came, and the Messiah didn't say that in a sense where he just came to instill chaos on the earth, right? That's not what it's saying. It's saying that, you know, there are a group of people in this world. Let's talk about the movie The Matrix, right? Great analogy, right? Everybody in the world is lost and they're stuck in the Matrix, right? The Most High is coming and showing that there are people in this world who aren't meant to be a part of the Matrix. There are people in this world who want to plug into the Creator at the end of the day, and they're not of this Matrix, not of this. They don't assimilate, but they're meant to pass the test of this Matrix for the real world to come, which is the kingdom. And that's what he's mainly doing and saying what he's doing. That he's come to establish the kingdom. And unfortunately, there's going to be people of the same households who aren't a part of that kingdom. Some are going to want to follow the Most High and be a part of that kingdom, and some aren't. And so peace is going to be amongst the kingdom and the body, the Messiah of Israel, of New Yasharal. But there's going to be set apart. But we're going to be set apart from people who want to choose this fake world, this Matrix, and that's going to be where the sword, where peace is taken away from us, dealing with people who are earthlings, who still want to be earthlings. We like the aliens of the world, for real. To be honest, we just passing through, while everybody else is just here for this little blip in moment of not even time, because time don't even exist.
That's what divinity is.
You know,
divinity.
This is literally, if you could literally show a timeline for forever, this isn't even a dot.
Yeah.
That's such a concept. I still can't really wrap my mind around that.
I can't.
Eternity. Even if I was in heaven, it sounds scary. Like,
what would I do tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know,
there is no tomorrow.
It's the same. Yeah, right.
Yo.
Okay. So with that in mind, question.
That's flesh. Beat
a
it.
question for you guys. Can you be a believer and not a conspiracy theorist?
Can you be a believer and not a conspiracy theorist?
I'd like to say yes.
I think you can as well, but I think once you start to study the word more and you start to understand, like the one conspiracy that comes into my mind right now that I've come to, that I believe in wholeheartedly, and I wouldn't have probably until I started reading the word, is that the earth is flat. You know?
Yeah.
And
We just lost half of our podcast watchers. Bye. Oh well. I'm joking.
Let me pull up the scripture.
I'm joking.
And I believe in it. It's in Psalms. It talks about the four corners of the earth.
Right. How can it have a corner if it's a sphere?
Yeah, and also, you know, can we really dig to China? No, we're just digging down. You know.
Or the expand. There's a verse that I can't remember if I told y'all this off air or not, but the CEO of NASA basically put on his tombstone.
I know he does basket weaving for a living. Imagine being the CEO of NASA.
Look, okay.
What is this man doing?
I'm gonna put this on screen. Werner von Braun.
Oh yes.
1912 to 1977. Psalms 19:1. To the chief, the founder of NASA trolling people that believe in space travel after his death. King James Bible. Psalms 19:1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork.
So even he believes in the firmament.
The CEO, yeah. And I don't know if he's CEO, but he's one of the biggest names
he's an executive
in bringing
Werner von Braun.
Yeah.
Dude, wasn't he a Nazi? I'm pretty sure he was. I think he was actually really big in the Manhattan Project,
Well,
which is like the atomic bomb.
There's some history that shows after the war, a lot of
Yeah.
the Germans came over and integrated into NASA.
They had some good rockets, but
I'll put a screenshot up of an image here of something that.
It's like they kind of know they're working towards something that will never be realized. Like they're probably just, I don't know. I think they're creating these insane rockets, knowing that they will never make it to space.
Yeah. Old NASA logo.
First Chronicles 16:30. Tremble before him, all the earth. The world is firmly established. It cannot be moved. Are we spinning?
Not if it can't move, then we can't be spinning.
Yeah.
And I have a NASA document that I think I showed y'all, concluding remarks. Stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Like literally NASA.gov centers. Concluding remarks. This report derives over a set linearized system matrices of a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying in a stationary atmosphere over a flat, non-rotating Earth. And it keeps going. And then, of course, look at the NASA, the United Nations logo, right? Which is flat Earth logo.
Okay.
But the question is to say that can you be a believer and not be conspiracy theorist? The reason I say yes is because that knowledge is not a salvation matter. So there are some sweet and amazing, I picture them to be, old ladies who bake really good cookies out there, who just love Jesus and love their family, and they have no idea about any of this, and they will see the kingdom of heaven. So I do think you can. However, if you are reading the word outside of just the Gospels, if you ever come across the things of Revelation and such, you have to ask yourself if this is real, because you can't take a part of the word and say it's real and the other parts aren't. If you say you believe the word, that means you believe the entirety of the word, and the conspiracy theories are in there, which means you must believe it if you believe any of it.
Yeah. And that just goes into how far people willing to go with their knowledge. That's one of the real things I don't think we gotta understand as believers, that knowledge is just as much like accruing knowledge is a part of our faith, or growing in faith. You know what I mean? And it's but that's the thing. A lot of people just feel like, no, I'm just good with with not knowing nothing, and it's just Jesus, or what about the gospel? Isn't the gospel the most important thing? Yeah. But when when the Messiah talks about wonders and signs and end time prophecy and stuff like. Well, yeah, man, HARP might be a part of that, the fake weather and stuff, and CERN might be a part of that, the seat of Satan, all of that, like opening portals like when you want to understand end time prophecy, and that's based around Israel, you gotta know who is Israel and who is not.
Right.
Like, and so it's a thing of like, it's not a salvation issue, but when the word talks about the strong delusion, how strong deception, you have to think that the deceptions is what's going to cause a lot of people to lose their faith, or the great falling away. Imagine all the people who have not prepared their hearts for living through the end times, but they still believe in a rapture. Wait, do any of us still believe in a rapture here? No. Or do? So it's a thing of like, those are going to be a lot of people who probably, I don't believe in nothing now, because I didn't disappear. In letting you
I've had
say what you say, I want to
in the Christian faith who've had nightmares about the rapture occurred and they were left behind and they were looking everywhere and all the people were gone and they were still there. So they may go with that and be like, oh no, I'm living my nightmare. I wasn't taken up in the rapture. Because if there's any kind of occurrence where a bunch of people disappear or whatever all at once for one reason or another, they may feel as though the rapture happened without them.
I feel like that's so unlikely.
Yeah, man. It's go for it.
That people would just disappear.
Yeah, people like I get that there are alien abductions, but a mass alien abduction, I don't know. It just like even like when I was still believing in the rapture and I watched like Left Behind and stuff, like I was like, this seems so theatrical. that everyone would just disappear, their clothes would stop, you know, and they just they would basically vaporize. I'm like, God,
can this really happen?
Mm-hmm. Like, what? Is this how you would want us? Because, I mean, and then once you start reading the word, you learn that Jesus is going to come back and it's going to be a big shebang, okay? You know, in the sky. So, and it's only one time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, like knowledge doesn't keep you from salvation. But when I think about that, I think about my grandparents. They're gonna be in the kingdom. They bore their fruit, but they didn't know not even a quarter of the stuff that we know today.
Yeah.
Like,
mine too.
But do we have an excuse in this age of knowledge? Our generation can, with what we're going to experience, how well can people hold on to their faith if they don't have the knowledge to help get a deeper root in their faith than previous generations might even need it? There's levels to this.
Yeah.
I want to read something real fast, right? This is from the sealed portion, the book of Jared Achie, right? This is the account of the Messiah on the walking on water. And Achie, who's the brother of Jared, descendant of Japheth, beheld that Messiah approach the ship of his fellows, and the storm of the wind upon the sea came upon them. For the watchers were mourning with Messiah, and when the men saw him, they were in the midst of distress because of the tempest, and because he had shorn his head, they knew him not. So it's saying that the Messiah had cut his hair at this point. And were afraid that it might be an angel of death come to claim them. But Messiah spoke out and said, "It is I, be not afraid." And Cephas, or Kepha, or Peter, said, "If it be you, Lord, bid me come unto you upon the water." And Messiah said, "Come." And he held out his hand, and Cephas walked into him into the 3 ship lengths. And he could do this as Messiah was in his heart, applying his oneness with the Father unto Cephas. And by the grace of it, Cephas walked. But as he drew near, Cephas could behold the face of Messiah, and the rain running down upon him. And he became aware of himself and began to sink. And Messiah calmed the storm and raised him up, and they walked together back in the ship. And those who followed with him said in their hearts, "What manner of man is this who can walk upon the sea?" And Cephas was much moved, and he sank and was raised up by the Lord. And Messiah said, "O you of little faith, know this day that oneness comes by fullness and obedience." And the Chi, in the vision, this is a Chi having a vision of the future of events, right? 2200 BC, this is being inscribed on tablets before the Messiah came. And the Chi beheld that knowledge was a part of faith, seeing that inasmuch as Cephas did not know concerning oneness and obedience, his faith was called little. And that faith is believing in what a person knows. Therefore, a man must feel compelled to seek after the learning of God in order to increase his faith.
That's good.
And it's like, little knowledge, little faith. When I used to just call myself a Christian and I'm just a Christian, bro, what? You know what I'm saying? Like that week. What I know now, how many things the word really confirms, I could not lie about I know I'm an Israelite. I visited Kenya, I couldn't lie about it's literally in me. It's a part of me. It is me. So it's just bro, that knowledge is important.
Yeah, that was an interesting story because first off, it's a prophecy and it actually happened. And corroborated it all throughout the gospel. But 3 ship lengths, Peter? My goodness. My dude was running the 100-yard dash, bro. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, I imagine it was a few steps.
I thought it was a couple steps too, but nah, bro was walking
was out
for
there.
a long time.
Yeah.
Minute walk, bro. I'm like, wow. That's really amazing.
And that was little faith.
Hey, it's better than no faith because the dudes in the boat, they had no faith.
And people should be like, if I just had the mustard seed. Bro, that is not the goal.
Yeah. You need much more.
You need to study. Study to show yourself approved.
Yeah.
That was Paul, right? Who wrote to Timothy, I think, right?
Yeah, and it went into like, for believers to have that kind of power to perform those kind of miracles, sinlessness is important.
Yeah.
You know,
Say that part.
If you're in unrepentant sin, then you don't have that power of the Ruach HaKodesh connected to you to even be able to, for the watchers, the angels, to allow you to control the elements under the Most High. You know,
that's what they are not saying up in those church buildings.
Repent.
The power that you have when you can really live a righteous life and turn away from sin. There's so many other levels that you don't even know about. You can't even go to those levels. You don't even know the level of gifting, especially in the times that we live in.
Yeah.
In order to tap into that, you must remove sin from out of your life. That's the lesson that keeps on giving. You can never learn enough of that lesson.
Nope, not at all.
Preach, Dayja. Preach.
Yeah, man. I can honestly beat this like subject like a dead horse all day, but you know. Y'all got anything else to add?
I think that was good.
Yeah? Cool.
So Elijah, please get us into some financial
Oh
news.
yeah, the financial news. So
Look at the time we're making. Look at us.
Look at us, guys. This is good. We should do this more often. Texas gold-backed digital currency. Very juicy news. So I'm going to read from statesman.com, and we see
Can I ask a question before
Yes,
you
go
read?
ahead.
Does Texas own some amount of gold that they can
Probably.
have a currency backed by gold?
Yeah, they probably have like a treasury or like a depository that has like lots of ounces, probably thousands of ounces.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, so they probably have a good reserve. I mean, honestly, when you really break it down, Texas is its own country. I mean, you see all the corporations that are there.
Run their own power grid too, right?
Yeah. Like they have their own economy. You know, they're just doing the United States a favor. They have oil. They got energy. They got. I mean, like they literally have everything. It's really its own country. But I'm getting into this. All right. A Texas Senate committee considered a proposal Monday, and this is written on May 9th. A proposal Monday that could give Texans the ability to purchase everyday goods with a new digital currency backed by Texas gold. The Senate Bill 2334 proposes to establish a new gold and silver based digital currency through the Office of the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. Back each unit of issued digital currency with a corresponding fraction of a troy ounce of gold or silver held in trust, and allow for individual accounts to be created at the Texas Bullion Depository that could be used to conduct transactions. Yeah, guys. So I mean, it's interesting, but that means that Texas would also have to issue a digital currency, probably. You know, because
So that would be like them competing with the U.S. dollar, like the Texan dollar or something. I mean, is the federal government gonna let this pass? And
I don't know. I think that Texas operates on its own laws for real.
Yeah. It's so funny when I went out there to visit, like my boy had his like, you know, gun in his, you know, next, and he's telling me how they literally like shoot you like on the freeway for cutting you off. Like
Really?
This is Texas for real.
Oh wow.
But I think this is just, you know, whether that's gonna really happen or not, y'all already know. I always say I think this is just one of them, like, we're showing y'all what's gonna happen. You know, whether it happens with the timeline they say or not, like, this digital currency is coming. And I won't be surprised with it happening there first, just because of how independent of a place they are. I feel like it's kind of like we need to get in control of these people quicker or fast. Like with like all that, when they had that snowstorm happen, power grid, like some people feel like that was like a kind of like an attack or a test run of certain things on the people.
Yeah.
Because when people were literally freezing to death and things happening, and posting videos of how the snow wasn't even melting when they put fire up to it, there's a lot of weird stuff going around that time.
I remember that.
Like it was fake, right? But they were forcing people to get shot up, you know, to go to the safety camps.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? And so it's just like, and you got all the stories of, oh, the immigration, stuff happening, coming through the border.
Oh, so that would work hand in hand with digital currency. You could track you.
Oh yeah,
that would really work hand in hand.
Yeah, so you couldn't just come across the border because you literally couldn't buy and trade in that place.
Yeah, you really
wow.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Strategic.
It is. I think it's a move like, just as like how Russia, China, and the BRICS nations, how they are starting to develop a gold-backed digital currency. I just think that it's Texas starting to think about it. I know it's gonna happen here in the United States. But in like literally, when is it? In about 2 months. Because May is almost over. FedNow is going to be going live. So like, financial institutions are going to start moving their money with blockchain technology, which is digital currency. So I think we're going to start to see a lot more. Probably a lot more states start to think about this, but I really think it's going to be a federal thing that's pushed down on the states. But we'll have to see.
You think Texans will probably? I mean, obviously we're moving some kind of urgency, but like, do you think what advice would you give to a Texan, like, to protect their assets and money if this currency system is gonna come on them faster? Like, do you think they should like start buying gold and silver or invest in crypto, or what do you think? Or like,
I think first off, you should pay off your
debts.
Yeah, pay off your debts, because they're gonna use that as like a way to hold it over you.
Uh-huh.
That's one thing I think about. But I think gold and silver.
That's good.
Gold and silver are gonna be important, but you got to think about like it's a lot harder to transport, and also it's a lot harder to transport and trade also. So if a lot of people don't have gold and silver to trade with, you're just gonna get USD back, and then if you can't even use your USD like dollar bills, like they're gonna just turn into digital currency. So I think all three of those that you said would be useful. Certain cryptocurrencies, like the ones that are actually going to be used in this new financial system, from my understanding, are the ones that are going to be beneficial. Not like Shiba Inu, Dogecoin. I think Bitcoin will be good. I don't think Ethereum will be over the next couple of years, but only time will tell. But I think starting off with paying off your debts so that you don't have to be subject to a financial institution's like, hey, listen, you're going to start paying me in digital currency. I think that's really important. So that's kind of what I think about.
I need to go ahead and finish suing my school so they cancel off my student loans.
Yeah.
They've been in this freaking this lawsuit thing for a minute, so
They need to chop it up.
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Get that off the credit too.
They need to just forgive student loans altogether, for real.
Yeah, y'all chat.
That could be part of reparations. I'm cool with that.
Man,
that'd be my reparations.
I want more than that.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have had this. The funny thing about student loans, the way I've always pictured it, it's like this tsunami that's ever coming. It's always in the back of your head, and it just gets a little closer and closer. It's just always there in the back of your head.
Yeah.
this
I've met
giant
successful
tsunami.
lawyers and such who are like, I'm never paying this off. I'll just keep making $200,000 a year. I'll just keep making the minimum payment until I die. It's like, wow, it's cryptic.
Yeah, that is.
Well, I guess so, but then it
life.
falls on somebody else, though, right?
No, that has to go with you to the grave. There's no way they can put that on your kids or something.
I don't find a way to get paid.
Law school debt and stuff.
They don't.
People,
They
debt
won't even
falls
pay.
on friends of
It goes
dead
to
families.
the
a lot.
estate, and then let's say they would have assets. They
It
were
goes
trying-
against it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
What do
know
you
it is.
all think about that? Chop y'all what y'all think happens in the comments with
Yeah.
that stuff. Shit.
Well, guys, this has been a fun conversation today. I realized by the end of this chat, I did miss y'all.
Aww.
Yeah, I missed you guys.
Guys, we were very efficient with our time.
I know, right? Look at us. Just 4 minutes over, man. That's good.
93 minutes.
Yeah, short and sweet, or not short and sweet, but
Efficient.
you already know what I mean.
Efficient conversation. Thanks to Dayja for being a great facilitator of the conversation.
Yeah.
Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you, Brandon, for dropping the gemmiest of gems.
Yes, knowledge.
It was
Dropping knowledge on the people.
Yes.
I'm thanking Eliyahu just for the presence, the
Being who
swag,
you are.
the fit,
Yeah. Thank you for being who you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely glad to be back, man. And, you know, looking forward to more, man. Shoot.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Most definitely.
That is Kingdom OutKasts Podcast. What do they need to do?
Subscribe.
Like, comment, share, subscribe. Do what you do, but we appreciate you. And until next podcast.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. And a happy Shavuot. Shavuot. Hope I said that right.
Yeah.
Peace of Shavuot. Deuces.